Welcome to next video of basics of web page, basic elements of web page part 2. We will be continuing our discussion on HTML and CSS and JavaScript. So from the previous video, we looked at few of the tags. We'll continue on few more HTML tags, and then we will jump into the other parts of this series. Let's look at the page that we worked on last video. Okay, this is where we had left, or maybe we added more here. So we learned about the H1 tag, paragraph tag, and H2 tag. And then today we will continue learning more about the div tag and how do we present an image and list items and unordered and ordered list items. And we'll take a closer look at the how the table on an HTML page can be rendered. Okay, let's look at the div tag. Div and the paragraph, they're like very quite close to each other, and in the appearance, that's what we all think, but it's not. Paragraph is specifically designed to put the text content. So you can put on p tag and put the content, and another p tag and put another content. So it's a nice, neat, and neatly you can align on your page the content of your text. Whereas the div is also a block, but then you can have a more control over div tag. So that's why people use the div to present the content of different types. It's not just the text content. It can have its own blocks, multiple HTML elements. And here, if you look at, I have a div tag here, and then there is a figure tag. Within the figure tag, I have an image, and I have given a one source of some online image. And if you notice, there is an attribute I have added. That's the border and equal to number 1. It's basically saying, okay, I want a border of 1 pixel around whatever the image that gets rendered through this source URL. And then I have another tag here, which is a figure caption. It's a caption. Like if you look at in the any of the textbooks where they generally give you a picture or some image, and then there is a caption for that picture. So this is how you can do. This is a complete one section, one content, which is like combined, like image and the figure caption, and then it's wrapped around the figure tag. Similarly, I have here another div tag within the div, and under that you can see these are the UL stands for unordered list, and OL stands for ordered list. And the UL tag will contain multiples of list LI tag, which is a basically list item. So each item you can put under the list tags, like the way I have put here. Similarly, you can same LI will go into ordered list as well. They are basically same. Only thing is, in case of unordered list, it just each item is have a prepending with a bullet or some picture, which can be changed using the some other attributes. In case of ordered list, it will be always numbers or alphabet, what you choose. So by default, it is numbered. We will look at it on the HTML page. You can see quickly. You can look at the how it is appearing on this preview page. But we'll straight away go to the browser and look at it in a minute. Now let's look at the table. I think table is very essential part of any form or any content, because you want to show the report charts or some statistics. It's easier to show it in a table than writing everything in sentences. Like here, it looks, it's a list of fruits and their prices. So you can start the table tag, and then there is a caption tag. You put whatever the title you want to give here within the caption tag. And then there is a table header. Like everything has a header. Similarly, table head, T head, within that you have a head. Table row, TR stands for table row. And again, TH stands for table head. So there are multiple headers here. Basically, each column will have its own head. That's what it is representing here. This is a fruit name, then there is a unit price in dollar, quantity, and the cost of each fruit. And similarly, next go to the table body, where you will have multiple rows for each, and each row represents the same, the name, the price, and the quantity, and the total cost of each item. Like here in banana, $1, and for 12 it costs $12. Similarly for apple and mango. And then finally we want total. If you notice, first two, so before that, what is TD? It's a table data. This is the last element of your table, meaning that contains the value, cell of your table, and each corresponds to the corresponding column. And here, if you see, there were 4 headers, and that's why you have 4 TD. Similarly, at the end, you have a table footer. So here, if you notice, first 2 TDs, I have just put nothing there, and we want to put total on the 3rd column, and then finally the total value. How does it appear? This is how it appears. And we'll quickly look at how it appears on the our favorite browser. Let's go and refresh it. Okay, so if you notice, there's a picture, and that has the border. By default, it is black in color, like the text and border, everything goes in the same color. And then you have the list items here. You can see these are it's just the dots here, and then these are just numbers. See, this is an ordered list, and this is an unordered list. And this is how your table looks. This, if you notice, table headers are bold in text, and then the rest of the things are in not bold, they are normal text. But this is how table gets rendered, right? And then few more things to notice here. Like if you see, there are certain tags here. You can put a, so never stop learning. So never stop, I have striked it. So learning is what you need to do. And this is how we have done. This is done by using a tag called strike. So you put a strike and then text, and then end the strike. Whole text within that strike will appear with it's not that text is disappeared, text will be rendered, and then it will be striked. You will, as you see here in the browser. And similarly, we have another attribute here, which is a SUP, and then this is how you represent a exponential, like this. Looks nice, right? So similarly, earlier also we have seen few tags like strong or emphasize, right? Similarly, we have added another one here, italic. So I tag stands for italic, and B tag stands for bold. Okay, so these are few more tags that we learned today, but there are quite a number of tags in HTML. according to the need, we could use them. Quite a number of them. We can look at them as we go forward. But these are like quite often used. I would say div tag, every page you would find div tag available in any website, anything that is present on internet. All of that, all the pages will definitely be using this tag. And the table, again, very important aspect, because anywhere people want to present their statistics and comparison. I think the table is the best option we have on HTML. Okay, so we will learn more. And now then you may be wondering how these the pages get rendered, why it is black, right? Why the size is this? Why is this font? Why is the anchor tag has the different appearance? And then I can have, when I hover over, why it is showing me hand or a clicking option gesture, right? Why? And then similarly, what is the why? How is this header is bold? This all can because if we look at our source file, we have never mentioned anywhere that, oh, this is table header, it should be bold or anything. We have not defined, but this is all the default behavior of a browser. Browser has its own the default styling. That's what makes all of these rendering possible the way it is rendering. To make any changes to this or anything that that want to be overwritten, we can do that by we can introduce our own inline CSS and or style sheets and change all this against the browser. And that is required when you want to support the different customers, different types of page. Each one has different theme, and if you want to apply those specific themes, that's where we will all use the CSS as the style sheets. So there are various different ways, various ways you can apply these styles, inline or the XML CSS file or on the page itself. We will look at those in the incoming videos. This is about the HTML additional tags. Okay. Before we go into the CSS, how CSS works, I think we need to look at why every tag that we have defined in first section before to the table, why everything is in a new line, why it is not side by side. That is something we need to question ourselves and dig into the browser behavior. So that is because every tag occupies its own space, like H1, the first tag that we have, even the body tag. Everything has its own space it occupies on the browser. And how do we detect that? How do we find that out? There is all the browsers have the nice tool called inspector. Like if you just do a right click and then say inspect, this will tell you how it is rendered, right? So if you hover over on HTML, this is the little box where the entire HTML content, that HTML file that we developed, this is how it gets rendered, right? This is how it shows in its own editor. Or you can make changes here, but then they are temporary. So I don't recommend doing it. You better do it on your actual file and then look at here how it looks. But you can always play around, but it won't. This won't persist. So it's better to do it on your own file if you want to have it permanently. Now, if you look at the, I'm just highlighting H1, and you look at how the block is reserved for H1. That's entire block, right? And if you look at on the side on this is the entire box. Like, this is actually the text content, and then there is everything here is entire, every HTML element on a page is a box or a rectangle. Well, it's the same one and the same. So it has its own border, its own margin, it has padding, everything is there, which is coming by default by the browser style sheet. Like here, if you can look at it, this is nothing but the style sheets styling. The H1 styling, default styling by the user agent style sheet, which we cannot modify it. Right? So every page that you can see on this browser will always, and the H1 tag will always have this styling. So if you look at the, excuse me, so the font weight is bold and font size is 2em and margin. So what you see the number here display, how it should be displayed, it should be displayed as a block. That's why it's a block. Like similarly, you can look at the paragraph. That is also another block, but it has its own styling, right? And H1, there is a slightly different styling as compared to H1 and H2. So H1 and H2, the difference is both are bold, but only thing is the font size and is one thing which is predominant change you can observe. The other thing is, I think again, the block start and block end. We will look at all these. What does these mean? Each of these styling attributes. We can go in deep in our future videos. But let's continue looking at how this rendering is happening. Now let's look at our div tag. So if you see, div is entirely occupied. Let's a little bit down. Easy to see here. So the picture, all our list items, everything is part of the div. This is a nice way to know what content falls in which tag. It's easy. Sometimes if you are not close the tag or some mistake, then it won't be nice like this. Okay, so similarly, let's go and see how the table. Now, if you expand the table, like caption, like I can select the specific parts of the table and highlight it. If I here highlight it, table header, and that is what my table header. Now within the table header, I look at this is one and the same, but if I go and highlight specific thing, so that is what it is highlighting. And if you look at each of these are also small boxes within the box. Like entire table is one big box, and then caption is another box, and table header is one box, body is another box, and with the table foot is another box. Similarly, if you go into the row is a box, another box within the, or a block within the table head tag. Now table th tags, each of those are basically table columns are nothing but small boxes again with their own attributes, and everything again is defined within the user agent style sheet. Let's go to this table cell. Now we can go look at how is this. This is, they vary in the size depending on their column size or the column name or the content, a header column. But we can always control these things by style sheet. We can work on those things. We can have all rows fixed columns, fixed size and width. So this is how all this rendered. And the main thing to understand here is every browser has its own user agent style sheet with which it renders the content, and predominantly all the browsers would be having a same styling. Exceptions are there, but predominant tags are supported with a similar styling. So to override these, I mean, we have to override these styling according to our needs, according to the need of the customer you will be serving. So that can be done using our own style sheets, which we can look at it later. Hope this was useful. Thank you. We would appreciate your comments and feedback. Once again, thank you.